They're in coastal areas where temperatures are not meant to go way up nor way down. But unfortunately, throughout the pre-dawn hours and up until 9 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, it's going to be really cold, just colder than average. Colder than usual, though. Frost advisories are in effect throughout parts of the Central Valley, California, especially the state capital in Sacramento. The Pacific Northwest, just a little bit of moisture is located there in parts of Washington State. Some in the form of rain, others in the form of snow, but right now it's not really much of a widespread event. And now, where are we going? Here. Light and variable winds in northern New England, but for folks throughout the rest of the Northeast, winds are generally moving from the moving to the north. Very strong winds, moving up to 30 miles an hour throughout the Mid-Atlantic states and western New York, as well as the immediate coastlines of Long Island and New Jersey on the south shore of Long Island, as well as folks in Nantucket and Cape Cod and Martha's Vineyard. In the south, east of the Mississippi, winds are generally moving to the north, but they're very strong, just moving up to 30 miles an hour in Tennessee, northern parts of Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia. Florida has some lighter winds there, mostly just right along the I-95 corridor, as well as for folks south of Orlando. Like the Keys have easterly winds moving up to 20 miles an hour. But once you cross the Mississippi, although we do have the Gulf Coast with winds coming from the Gulf, but then they shift to the northeast, moving up to 20 miles an hour. But for folks in western Arkansas, Oklahoma, and northern Texas, winds are coming from the northwest. And as you can see, this is a firm line where right between faster winds and lighter winds. That's because you guys are seeing a cold front. Temperatures are very cold in Oklahoma and Dallas, unlike folks in Austin, San Antonio, and Houston. It's quite a contrast, folks. But northern Texas has winds that are going to be blowing between 30 to 40 miles an hour. You have strong surface low that's spinning counterclockwise towards the center in places just northeast of Chicago and east of Milwaukee. Well, very strong winds all throughout much of the Midwest, blowing between 20 to 40 miles an hour. Very strong just northwest of North Platte. And right in the middle part of the Mississippi, up to 30 miles an hour, just a little stronger in there, Chicago. But direction-wise, the Ohio Valley has winds that are coming from the southwest. Illinois has winds coming from the west. Michigan overall has winds coming from the northeast. Folks in Wisconsin, winds are coming generally from the north, but then blow towards the southeast. Generally, the Great Plains region, winds are coming from the northwest, but they're stronger. Much of the west has light and variable winds, but the central parts of Montana, winds are strong, moving to the northeast, blowing between 30 to 40 miles an hour in a few places. Though the lower Colorado Valley, winds are moving to the south, blowing it up to 30 miles an hour there. In places like Southern California, similar story, but just up to 20. In the coastal part of the Pacific Northwest, winds are moving out to sea. Some of them blowing to the north, others blowing to the south. Let's take a look at the temperatures. Temperatures are in the teens in Maine. The rest of New England, temperatures are in the 20s to low 30s. Eastern Pennsylvania and upstate New York, temperatures are in the upper 20s to mid 30s. Western Pennsylvania, temperatures are in the 40s to mid 50s. The greater New York City area, temperatures are in the 30s. West Virginia, temperatures are in the upper 50s to mid 60s. The Mid-Atlantic states, temperatures are in the 40s. Carolinas, temperatures range from the mid-40s to low 60s. In Tennessee, temperatures are in the 60s, along with Alabama. Mississippi, temperatures are in the upper 60s to mid-70s. Georgia, temperatures are in the 60s. Arkansas, temperatures... Okay, so, because of the cold front, eastern side, temperatures are in the 60s to low 70s. Western side, temperatures range from the mid-30s to... We got 37 in Fayetteville to Cove at 48. I mean, it's quite a drastic change from, like, let's say, folks that are currently in Fayetteville to Little Rock, in which case they're about to lower their temperatures to about 48 degrees or lower. Florida, on the northern side, temperatures are in the 60s. South Florida, 70s. In Oklahoma, temperatures are in the 30s to mid-40s. In northern Texas, temperatures, we got the northern panhandle, they're in the 30s. You get 46 in Lubbock to 48 in Wichita Falls, 50s in Abilene and Dallas, 60s in western Texas, 70s throughout much of southern Texas. Cold front's approaching, that's going to change a lot of things. And we take a look at the Midwest. We got temperatures in the 60s in Kentucky, mid-50s to mid-60s in Ohio, 60s in Indiana, 50 in Chicago, but then you end up with the 30s in central Illinois. Then in the direction of St. Louis, temperatures are in the 40s to low 50s. I mean, you do see a cold front, folks. Evansville is going to become... colder with temperatures they're going to dip down. They're going to dip down to the 50s or upper 40s. In Michigan, you get temperatures that are currently in the 30s for the most part, but on the southern end, temperatures are in the 40s and 50s. In Wisconsin, temperatures are in the mid 20s to upper 30s. Minnesota, there are temperatures that are in the upper single digits to low 20s. Hold on a minute, folks. Alright, I'm back. North Dakota has temperatures that range from the mid-negative single digits to the mid-positive single digits. It's quite complicated for me to explain this, folks, with all these positive and negative numbers that are there in terms of Fahrenheit temperatures. In South Dakota, you get temperatures that are in the mid-single digits to mid-teens. Let's go down the Missouri River. Iowa, temperatures are in the teens to mid-20s. Missouri, you get temperatures that range from, in the northern part of Missouri, you get temperatures that are in the low 20s to mid 30s, upper 30s to mid 50s in the southern half of the state. Nebraska temperatures range from the upper single digits to mid 20s. In Kansas, temperatures are in the 20s. Now we go here. In Montana, you get temperatures. Okay, so let's see what we got. We got temperatures at -1 in Glasgow to 8 in Havre. Temperatures in the teens for Gwinnett, Miles, and as well as for those in southwestern Montana. 25 in Billings, 21 in Kalispell, and also 25 in Great Falls. Northern Idaho has temperatures that are in the teens to mid-20s. Southern half, they're in the mid to upper 20s. Wyoming, temperatures range from the mid-teens to low 20s. You got 5 in Clark to 26 in Denver, with 19 at Colorado Springs and 20 in Grand Junction, Alamosa, and Lamar. And in Utah, temperatures are in the 20s throughout much of the state, but in the southern half, temperatures are in the 30s to mid-40s. Throughout much of Nevada, temperatures are in the upper 20s to mid-30s, upper 30s to low 50s in the southern tip of Nevada. In the northern half of New Mexico, you get temperatures that are in the 30s to mid-40s, upper 40s to mid-60s in the southern half. Northern half of Arizona, you get temperatures that are in the low 30s to mid-40s, upper 40s to mid-60s throughout the southern half of Arizona. In California, in the northern half of the California coast, temperatures are in the 50s. The southern half, 60s, 62 in Indio. Upper 40s to mid-50s throughout the Central Valley, California. Then we go up. We got temperatures that are in the mid-20s to low 40s throughout the Sierra Nevadas. In the Pacific Northwest, in Oregon, temperatures range from the 20s in the eastern side, central side 30s, western side 40s. In Washington State, temperatures in the northeastern part of the state, they're in the teens, 20s throughout the east central part of Washington State, plus, 30s throughout the southern part of the state, but in the surrounding areas of Seattle, of course, 41 degrees. Now, where are the gusts? Well, just a tiny bit of gusts offshore from places like Rhode Island to Delaware. Western parts of New York and Pennsylvania and West Virginia, gusts are blowing between 30 to 50 miles an hour. Stronger winds, 40 to 60, maybe close to 70 miles an hour from Ohio all the way to Wyoming. And as far south as Dallas and Waco, Texas. Almost at Waco. By the way, it's going to be windy, though, and with those cold temperatures, that makes things worse. Alright. Northwestern Montana, gusts are blowing it up to 60 to 80 miles an hour in a few places, but just not as widespread as those in the Great Plains and the mid-Mississippi Valley and parts of the Ohio Valley too, and the Southern Plains. There's a few spots throughout the southwestern part of the country with up to 50 miles an hour in gusts. But in Tennessee, up